Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you're here. We're going to dive into the world of professional photo management and show you how a love of photos can be turned into a real business. If you've been curious about starting your own business as a photo manager, or even if you just want to learn what it looks like, you're in the right place. We're going to explore the different membership options with the photo managers so you can see which path might best fit you and how we will support you every step of the way. And what I love is each month we invite different professional photo managers to share their experience, tips, and lessons learned. So you're going to get some great insight from Rhoda Gordon, who has been building her business for a long time and is a real expert and is actually one of our mentors for our members. She was just talking about that. So you probably come with a lot of questions, and we know that. So you might be wondering, how can I help others organize their own photos when mine aren't sorted or organized? What exactly does a photo manager do, and how do I know if this is a right fit for me? How can the photo manager support me when I get started? Who are the photo managers? Is this a franchise? Is it an association? And how much does it cost to join? And so by the end of this session, you're going to have the answers to all of those questions. And stay tuned because we have a really special offer and a special bonus just for attendees. And of course, we have to do that because who doesn't like to have some motivation to take action? Plus, as I mentioned today, you're going to meet Rhoda Gordon. She's a certified photo manager and the founder of Sunflower Photo Solutions. She's going to share how she turned her passion for photography into a business helping families preserve their stories. And then, inspired by a dream, she created a product called Dig Your Photos. It's a hand-on kit for organizing printed photos. So learn how Rhoda built her business, connects families through memories, and offers practical tips so you can start your own photo organizing journey. So before we go any further, I want to introduce myself. I'm Kathy Nelson. I'm the CEO and founder of the Photo Managers, and I'm also the author of the book Photo Organizing Made Easy and a business roadmap for professional photo managers. But what really drives me is the passion for helping people tell their family stories through their photos, videos, and keepsake items. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is really all about. And why does this matter? Why is there such a need for professional photo managers? Why even bother organizing your photos or videos or letters or keepsake items? Here's the truth. Photo organizing doesn't sound very exciting. It's kind of like watching paint dry. But the why isn't about the files, it's about the stories inside them. Every photo holds a memory. It's a feeling, it's a connection. It's why we save our baby's first shoes, our kids' artwork, our grandma's teapot, because all of those items and things connect us to our family and to our history. The problem is we are just drowning in too much stuff, right? We have boxes of old printed photos, slides, and home movies that we can't even play anymore. Really crazy, messy digital collections. I mean, there was a time when we probably 5 or 6 years ago, people might have had 70 or 80,000 digital images. Now, I mean, we'll have to ask Rhoda, but I'm sure I mean, a terabyte, was hard to grasp that you would ever need a terabyte of storage. And now, people are buying 2, 3, 4 terabyte storage, external hard drives, right? So the problem with that is nobody wants to look through those thousands of photos to find the few that matter. That's where the value of a photo manager comes in. And here's some numbers to put it in perspective. According to Photo Tutorial, humanity takes 5.3 billion photos every single day. That's nearly 2 trillion this year alone, which are numbers that, I mean, who knows I can't imagine a billion, never mind a trillion, right? The numbers are staggering, are just staggering. But when you ask people what they'd be most devastated to lose in a fire or a data crash, it's not going to be all those photos, but it's going to be the ones that they care about that tell their story. So think about your personal collection of photos. Um, what um, what photos, videos, or letters would you be heartbroken to lose? Here's one from my family. This shows my husband's family piled into a station wagon. They would pile into a station wagon and drive across the country oops, close that up, every summer. Decades later, we did the same with our kids, and you can see there where we finally hit all lower 48 states. And the grandkids of those, so Larry is the baby in that picture, but his sisters had continued to do that with their kids, and now they have grandchildren, and they're continuing that tradition. So that's the magic of photo organizing, right? It's not about the files; it's about rediscovering family stories and putting them together. And here's a favorite quote that I've used all these years is there have been great societies that did not have the wheel, but no societies that did not tell stories. We are storytellers as human beings, right? And today we tell those stories through photos, videos, and keepsake items. So now I want to address something that I hear a lot too to help put this in perspective. Is this a franchise or what is the photo managers? A franchise is kind of a business in a box. You pay for a name, you pay for systems, you pay for a brand, and you run your business under how somebody else has set it up. And that works for some, but sometimes it can limit independence. The Photo Managers is not a franchise. We're a membership community, which means you own your business, your brand, and your pricing. You decide how you grow, and we provide the training and resources to support you at whatever place that you are in your business. What sets us apart is credibility. We offer professional certification and 16 years of experience. We literally created this industry. Before 2011, there was no organization supporting or certifying photo managers, and the word photo manager didn't even exist. And we've changed our name over the years. And even photo management is a limited name because it's not just photos. As you noticed, I kept mentioning other things, but people do understand the concept of photos when you mention that right off the bat. It's similar to how personal training or coaching didn't exist until pioneers formalized those professions. And we're doing the same thing for photo management, and we are the industry. So instead of being boxed into someone else's model, you get the freedom, support, and strength of belonging to an organization that defined the whole concept of what it means to be a professional photo manager. So, where do you fit in to the photo managers? We offer three paths to membership. The first one is called Photo Manager in Training. That's perfect if you want to start out by just organizing your own photos first. We also have professional membership. You're ready to build a business helping others. And then we have what we call our Professional Plus. You know you want to scale a profitable certified business right off the bat. So I'm going to break down each of these right now so you can see which one fits your goals. So answer these questions. We're going to do a quick true or false. My photos aren't organized, but I'd love to help others with theirs. True or false? I just want to focus on my photos first. I already run a business, but I want to add photo organizing services. I'd love a creative way to earn meaningful part-time or full-time income. I need guidance on pricing, workflows, and operations. I love to dive in. Once I'm in, I want to commit 100%. I'm overwhelmed by other storage options, but I'm open to learning. Technology can frustrate me, but I'm willing to try and figure it out. I'm still deciding whether to focus on my own photos or start a business. If you answered mostly true, you're ready for our professional community. If you answered mostly false, then the photo manager in training would be a great starting point. And if you're in between, again, that year-long training program might be right where you want to be. The good news is if you join at the photo manager in training, you can upgrade at any time and we will credit you with what you've already paid. So you're not double paying. So we have a spreadsheet. So if you were a photo manager in training for 5 months and you're ready to change, we look at our little spreadsheet and we tell you what it would cost what the difference in pricing is. So you don't have to feel like you're locked into one decision right off the bat. So let's take a look at what each level offers. Also, feel free to put your questions in the chat. We will have plenty of time for Q&A at the end, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, and we're prepared for that, and hopefully we'll have a good answer for whatever you need to know. So our photo manager in training is a 1-year guided program. It helps you build photo organizing skills and see if turning this passion into a business is right for you. As a photo manager in training, you'll have on-demand courses for both printed and digital organizing. You get monthly prompts, webinars, and a private Facebook group for peer support, which now we've just moved everybody to Circle, so we need to think about that. We'll probably be looking at putting you in a different program that's called Circle. You have interactive co-working sessions with one of our members who's been a longtime member. Her name is Terry Winfield, and she loves doing these co-working sessions once a month with our photo managers in training. You get access to 12 of our most popular webinars from our training library that we feel like would be relevant for you. You get exclusive partner discounts, and you get a roadmap to check you on your journey and career insight from some of our seasoned members of our team. The cost for this is just $329 for the year. And if you, we didn't have renewal until last year when we finished our first year, and a lot of people said, "Oh, can I keep going?" Because I didn't have time and life got in the way. And so we do a discount. And so you can sign on for another year, but the goal really isn't for this to be a subscription where you're paying every year. It's really for you to come in and get all the training that you need and then help you make those decisions. So now let's look at our professional membership. If you already know you're ready to start a business, then you want to look at becoming a professional member. It gives you everything you need to lay a strong foundation from training and resources to a supportive community that's been right where you are right now. This membership isn't all about helping you launch it's all about helping you launch with clarity and confidence and then grow steadily from there. So let's take a look at the different benefits. But before we jump into that, we did ask in April of 2024, we invited photo managers to complete a survey. And here's a little bit of an example of who are the photo managers from that snapshot in time. Most are college educated women, 40 plus, with more men joining every month. So that's really starting to change pretty dramatically. Our members live across the world: US, Canada, Europe, Australia, and beyond. 66% run their business full time or part time, while 33% call it a side gig or maybe a retirement career. The experience level ranges from less than a year to over a decade. So that shows there is a true sustainability in this career. Most pros talk about they bring on 2 to 3 new clients a month, with 80% of the work coming from repeat customers. That's a big number. That's interesting when we did the survey. Once you've been established long enough, clients will come back to you because life keeps happening and they keep taking photos. The top services member offer are printed photo organizing and scanning, digital organizing, and photo book creation. Most projects last 2 weeks to 2 months. Some may exceed well over 20 hours. And the client that hires our photo manager are predominantly women 45 plus, though again, more and more men are coming in, and they often tend to bring in the big boxes of home movie conversion. So that gives you just some quick statistics there. So our core member benefits: at the heart of membership, we deliver what we call education, community, benefits, and credibility. So education is really the gold standard of who we are. We do that through monthly webinars, but also you have full access to our on-demand core curriculum. And that includes organizing your clients' printed photos, building blocks of digital photo organizing, the business basic foundation. So that's a course that we put together a few years ago because we realized it's hard. You have to learn how to do the work of a photo manager, but if you've never had a business, there's a whole other part of things you have to get to understand. Like, am I an LLC, or how do I set myself up? How do I collect invoice? How do I do invoicing? How do I know how much to charge? How do I follow up with clients? It's all the business of being in business. So we have a course that we've put together to help you with that, and then also direct you some wonderful resources, probably in your local communities. There's a lot of great resources in many, many communities helping small businesses get up and started. Then we have how to scan photos, slides, and negatives, our printed photo organizing made easy course, which is really about your own photos, and a guidebook on how to convert analog media, which is those old home movies, um, to convert those. And that is something that when we first started, most people were outsourcing, but many of our members have chosen to bring that in-house. And so that's a guidebook if you want to. Now, we do a new member orientation, and the first thing I tell everybody is you're not going to watch all of these courses with the first month that you're in business. It'll be like an information overload. But this is our core curriculum. It's always there for you, and you'll dip in and out as you need it. We also do monthly training webinars. And so this is an example of some recent ones we did in the end of September: disaster recovery for professionals. About now, with so many weather disasters, we have guest experts speak about how to help people manage like waterlogged photos and things like that. Things about photo privacy, what is metadata. So we do that regularly, and they're put into our training library. Community, though, is what most members say is the best part. We live by the saying that a rising tide lifts all boats, and we're collaborative, not competitive. And we help you connect through a number of ways. We have what we call regional meetups. We're not big enough to have members, to have like all of New York, or, we have the New England region, we have the Mid-Atlantic region, we have the West Coast. And so they meet monthly. They're volunteer members who run those Zoom meetings. And it's a chance for you to get together once a month with people in your general region. And that's a great way to break a bigger community down into small communities. It's also a great way to learn like who's in your area to outsource. Maybe you don't want to do digital photo organizing. Maybe you don't want to do home movie conversion. We always say do what you love and outsource the rest. So here's a built-in community of people that you can pass work on to. We also have we've got to update this slide, Mary. We did have a private Facebook group. We're closing that at the end of November, and we've moved to a community program called Circle, which is private, and it's a lot better than Facebook. And we found a lot of our members also felt that they wanted to get off social media, and this is it's a wonderful platform. And then we are just in the process of getting that up and running. But that's like a 24-hour support hotline. Any questions that you have, members go in there, they answer each other. It's a wonderful program. We also do. We have all sorts of different ways. We're an amazing community who really want to help everybody succeed. We also have something called group mentorship, what I just mentioned. Rhoda was just mentioning me. She just had met with her. So our experienced members are wonderful. They volunteer to do this, and we try to put a pro with 3 to 4 members, and they'll meet 6 times over 3 months. The goal isn't really to teach you about being like the work of a photo manager, but to offer you the support. And also, long-term goal is for those small groups of 3 or 4 to continue meeting on into the future. And we have found that to be working really well. And so when you join, you can sign up. There is a little bit of a lag time, not too bad, and take some time as we put people together by time zones and where they are in the U.S. and also our wonderful volunteers. But that is something that's included in membership. And then we also have partnerships. You get exclusive discounts from lots of our different partners, like Archival Methods, which is a wonderful company up in Rochester. They make photo safe boxes and all sorts of different materials. You can purchase that at, I think they do 35 to 40% off retail. Aurora Frames, 17 hats. There's just quite a list. And we put together, a lot of times we do webinars with them. We also have a guidebook, and you're able to get some discounts from those companies. And we're always working with bringing on more companies and also helping you know about them. So all of this is considered our pro membership, and the cost of this is $649 a year or $199 for or 195 per quarter. So everything is included in that. And for those of you that I mentioned, there was that pro level. The pro level is if you already know that you want to be in business and you're ready to go, we include our certification in this. It's the best fit because it's everything that's included plus our professional certification. So certification is a program you'll go through a series of training, and then we also have we teach you best practices on printed photo organizing, digital photo organizing, scanning and digitation, video conversion, photo restoration, project management, and business development. Now, this could take a while to go through all that. It's not something that you have to do right away, but you have full access to it. And so it's a savings if you purchase it ahead of time. And then you'll renew at the normal annual cost. So that is, those are our levels of membership. Now let's meet Rhoda. So I'm going to come back off. I'm going to start my video. And she was an electrical engineer. She's a wife, a mom. Rhoda comes from a multi-generational family of photo enthusiasts and has been helping individuals, families, and businesses save their stories for over 8 years. Inspired by a vivid dream, she created Dig Your Photos. It's a hands-on kit that guides anyone through organizing their printed photos, connecting with family memories, and building confidence in the process. So, welcome, Rhoda. We're so glad that you're here. And so, tell me, what is a means to you as what is a professional photo manager, and how did you combine your background and creativity to start your own business?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. And I'm so glad to be here. Welcome, everyone. I transitioned to be a photo manager because, like many people, I inherited bags and boxes of photos. And I did use my background as an electrical engineer and more recently, at that time, as a process engineer to figure out a way to organize those photos. And I was thinking of getting back into the workforce at that time. And I had so much, um, it was so cathartic and it was so satisfying to organize my family's photos from generations back that I started looking into seeing if this would be a good fit as a career. And a friend of mine actually suggested the photo manager. She had stumbled across it and said, I think you should look into this. And that is actually how I started as a photo manager um, over 9 years ago. I'm going into my 10th year. So I haven't looked back. I've just continued to grow as a photo manager, adding more and more skills, and I still love it. It's like solving a puzzle every time I get a new client.
Yeah, they are. There's a saying that a lot of photo managers say, if you've seen one photo organizing project, you've seen one photo organizing project, right? There's always variables to every project that people bring. So tell me a little bit about how photo organizing, well, how you've seen we talk about the value of stories and preserving meaningful stories. How have you seen that play out in the clients that you've worked with and in your own personal experience?
Yeah, I I've worked with many different types of clients, and the one thing that I see that's consistent across all of them is how emotional it can be just looking at a print photo. And I think it's more to print photos than looking at it on a computer, but they open up, it brings them back in time, and it can be so emotional for them in an amazing way, and sometimes in not so an amazing way, but it's cathartic no matter what. And it really brings them back in time, and they share the experiences that they had. They can smell the smells, they feel the emotions that they had in the moment that that picture was taken. And I just think it's such a bonding experience for families to look at printed photos together and to save their stories and not let them collect dust in a box. And it can be so transformative, especially if there's disconnects as to what people were feeling at the time the photo was taken. So I think there's so much value for families and bringing them together in looking at photos.
Yeah. Yeah. And that emotion piece it is a powerful, lot of nostalgia, right? Waves of nostalgia can overwhelm people. What advice would you have for anyone curious about starting their own photo organizing journey?
Yeah, I mean, if you're curious at all, you're halfway there, right? I mean, it's something that you're thinking about. I would say one of the first things you should consider is looking at your own photo collection, going through the steps to learn how to organize maybe your printed photos and then your digital photos. Work on yourself first and then branch out to your family and friends, helping them, asking them what type of services they would be interested in, and doing it one step at a time so that you can grow and learn at the same time. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what you're doing right then and there.
Yeah, like it's like one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
And what's wonderful about, Rhoda and so many of our members over the years is they've gained an experience, they see a need in the marketplace. And Rhoda, through her experience, saw a need for a kit for people that needed, maybe wanted to do it on their own to get their photos organized, or they want to organize their photos before they turn them over to be scanned by a professional. So tell us about Dig Your Photos. What inspired you to create this product and a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Thank you. I was struggling in my mind on how to get in front of a certain problem. And the problem is that I had seen quite a number of my clients that by the time I got to those clients, they had gotten so frustrated with their print photos, and they were encouraged by commercials and social media to just throw everything into a box willy-nilly and send it out to a big box scanning company to be scanned. And what did they receive back but digital spaghetti? And then they would hire me to undo that digital spaghetti, and they spent more money than they needed to and spent more time than they needed to than if they had organized their own photos first before they had them scanned. So I was struggling with a way to empower people to organize their own print photos. And it did come to me as a vivid dream. I rarely remember my dreams, but this one was so vivid. I had to really kind of move forward on it. I felt compelled. And um, I've been so energized by what I've created. It is a DIY print photo organizing kit. You can see it in the background here on the slide, but it has all the tools that a certified photo manager would use. So palette knife, cotton gloves, magnifying glass, which is so important, gum eraser, archival safe pencil, and note cards. It has easy instructions, a lot of affirmations. You can do it. And I've broken down the process into 4 easy steps based on the photo manager's framework. And there are 4 what I call recipe cards. So the front of the card tells you why you're doing that step, and the back tells you how to do it. And each one has a QR code to a video of me demonstrating in 5 minutes or less that particular step. Also included are these quick sort cards that help you by the second step quickly pare down your collection. If you've never actually pared down your collection or gone through it to get rid of the duplicates and the blurry photos, you will probably pare down your collection by half. So even if someone gets to the second step, they feel so empowered and so successful as far as organizing their print photos. And then also included is uh, a chart to help you document your family milestones so that you can create a physical timeline so that you can categorize all your photos by decade or by date or by era of how you lived your life. So I think it's a great thing for anyone who's interested in saving their story and learning the process as well.
Great. Yes, I love it. I mean, it's a perfect you're solving a problem for people that you like, that you saw in the marketplace, which is so much there's so much room for opportunities here. Like there's just people are overwhelmed. One last question before we go on is how has being part of the photo manager community supported your growth and inspired these new ideas for your business?
Oh gosh, so many ways. I mean, first and foremost, I think it's just a network of people who want to build you up. They want you to have a successful career. They want to help you. You can ask any question. There's no judgment. And this is not, nobody went to college to be a photo manager. We've all come from different walks of life and we're all learning. And we all started from the beginning. And so I feel like it's such an open and warm community of people who want you to succeed. There's enough business to go around for sure. Um, and it just grows every day. So, as a photo manager, you can find one thing that you really love about organizing photos, whether it's digital or print or scanning, and you can really just grow your business from that. And the other thing I'll say is that the yearly conferences are such a great opportunity to network and meet your people. You will find that these are your people. If you love photos and you like helping clients organize, you will find your people at the conference and you will get really amazing education that you didn't even think was out there. Yeah, it's
Thank
the
you.
photo managers really continues to grow how they help the people who are members of it.
Yeah, that's our foundation. Thank you. I mean, it always, that's right. We're in it. That's the whole saying of a rising tide lifts all boats, and we're collaborative, not competitive. There's more than enough business, and really everybody is still learning. And the technology changes so quickly. And so at this point, we have our tech geniuses, people that follow, like, we have our Apple genius guy who will, Paul, or a couple others will answer questions about, if Apple makes a big change, or we have our PC people. And so again, you're not going to be completely overwhelmed by changing technology, because, or if you are, we're all overwhelmed, and don't worry, you're going to be ahead of your client, but that's for sure, because most people aren't thinking about these things like we are. So thank you so much, Rhoda. And if there's questions for Rhoda, go ahead and put them in the chat. So at the end of the day, our mission is simple, right? If you want to organize your own collection, the photo managers and training is perfect. If you're ready to start a business, pro membership is for you. If you're ready to scale a profitable business, then check out our photo pro. So please also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you hadn't. It really does matter. We have been working really hard because YouTube is one of the #1 search engines. There's opportunities for you to join us on YouTube. We do monthly YouTube videos and stuff. We just put out a survey for members that want to join us again. So it's a way to kind of build your visibility. And so we'd love you to subscribe if you haven't yet. It does mean something to the powers that be in the YouTube world. So we're always looking to do that. And you can also, get a lot of great information and training and different things from our YouTube channel. And as we promised that we had a special offer, this is significant. This is bigger than what we would normally do, but we want to, we always like to help people go from maybe to, okay, let's do it today. Because let's face it, we all need that little nudge. So if you sign up today for our pro annual membership, not quarterly, but pro annual, or our pro plus, we'll give you access to our 2-day live track one of Profitability Live, which is actually tomorrow and Friday. It's $399. You can learn more by uh, checking out that QR code. But once a year, we do what we call Profitability Live, which we talk all about money and how to make money and how to price yourself profitably. It's all done virtually. And here is what you'll get. We have 6 professional photo managers doing case studies. So they each have chosen 2 clients. One will be on printed photo organizing. So she's going to show you 2 different clients, probably like a small client and a larger client, and how she priced her services, how they, intake, everything from, start to finish. In scanning, it's going to be different pros are going to be doing each of these: scanning, digital photo organizing, photo book, slideshow, and media conversion. We also have a wonderful keynote, Karen Laus. She's a powerhouse on confidence building and mastering the art of asking for what you want without guilt. Like, what do you do when somebody says, oh my God, that's too expensive, or I'm not ready today? So she's amazing. She'll be kicking it off, and she also has she'll be ending it as well. And we also have a great session on cash flow, because cash flow really matters. So again, if you join today or first thing tomorrow morning, this starts tomorrow, you'll get that. for free, but also, which is $399. But if you need time to decide, that's okay. We understand that. If you that bonus, you could also, if you join between now and July 14th, you will also get the recordings um, of Profitability Live. So we record everything, so we know members can't always make everything live. So you have until did I say July? I meant November 14th if I said that. Also, if you join at the photo manager and training level, you get a free copy of my book, Photo Organizing Made Easy. And if you join at our quarterly level, we have what we call our Essential Forms bundle, which has 3 practical forms that everybody needs. It's a basic contract and some other things, and that's normally valued at $200. Again, that's available until November 14th because we have to give you that little nudge. And so, but make a choice to join when you're ready where you are. So it's these are options that we have for you, but we also want to make sure that you are ready to start a business. And sometimes it takes some time to think about that. Here, those are pictures of you. Somebody put pictures of you somehow, Rhoda. I just saw that.
It was
Uh,
me. I didn't know, but it worked out.
Yeah, I think years ago they asked like, "Oh, people show us your photo chaos," and I sent a picture in. So
oh, is it in one of the slides that we did?
yeah, it was the first
Yeah,
slide.
it's the
Oh,
first
I'll go
one.
back and look. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. How big is the membership community? We're about 750 members current. Oh, there we go. Mary answered that question already. Thank you. Let's see.
Another question we had was for Rhoda asking if you could talk about how you found your first few clients.
Yes. So that is a common question that a lot of people have when they're first starting almost any business. Um, I found my first few clients because I just started talking to people about what I was going to do and what I was doing, what I did for myself. And first, I talked to friends and side friends, like let's say at a PTA meeting, you're in a group of women, one of them is your friend, but you end up talking about it and people are very interested. I mean, the amount of people, if you say what you do and they're like, oh, I really need that. And if you go a little bit deeper and you say exactly what you can do, you'll get 1 or 2 clients. It'll usually be a friend first, somebody who's a friend or a side friend, and then it branches out from there. But I would say that the more that you talk to people, the more clients you'll get. I ended up talking even to a photo lab that I was using myself, local photo lab in our town. And the owner, it was small family run, ended up giving me quite a number of clients just because he would talk to their clients and they'd say, oh, can you do this? And he said, no, I can't do that for you. But Sunflower Photo Solutions can do it for you. And he would send me clients. So talk to your businesses that you frequent, talk to your friends and side friends, near friends, and you will grow your business from there.
Perfect. Um,
That's great. And then I think another question we had just in general was what can I expect to learn from I believe they're referring to the photo manager in training.
what's the question? I'm trying to get down to the.
It just says, what can I expect from to learn from the training? So the photo managers in training.
Oh, yeah. Can you be specific? Is that photo manager in training, or is that the training of how to be a photo manager? Because that's an ongoing. The training is really ongoing all the time. It's never. We have what we call our core curriculum, which is really the basics of best practices of like printed photo organizing, and that one's taught by Sandra Williams, who's a member, and she talks because you're going to organize a client's photos very different than you're going to organize your with your own photos, and basics of digital photo organizing, like how to understand what is a JPEG, what is a TIFF file, like file resolution and things like that. If you don't come from like a professional photography background, you may not really understand some of those basic things. So hopefully I'm giving you then also the training is, how do you price big issue. And that's one of the things we always go over every year too, is that whole pricing. Like, do you price per slide or per print? Do you price per hour? People have come to understand over time, if you price by piece, say you're saying, I charge $1 for a photo, but then they give you all frame photos, how do you price when all of a sudden it takes like, right, Rhoda, like an hour or two to take all those photos out of the frame. And, so we talk about all of those things. So it's a never ending amount of training that we offered. So hopefully, Jean, if that did that answer your question, I hope that did. The methods, yeah. So we talk about the different methods, and also best practices. So the certification really goes through best practices. That was created by a team of 20 professional photo managers this last year. We just redid all of it too. And when I say, what do we mean by best practices? Scanning at 600 DPI as opposed to 300 DPI. Why we consider that a best practice. Um, Managing customers' expectations, best practices in that. Rhoda, well, you have a beautiful way that you deliver uh, a project back to your clients. Why don't you just share, like, that's an example of something, like, what did you learn over the years about how, when you're done with a client, what are some things that you do to kind of set yourself apart to in the client's mind that, wow, I just paid all that money, but what do you give back to them that makes them realize the value in that?
Yeah. So when I have a larger client, not a small project, but I do what I call a user guide, which is really just a soft covered album, but it has a lot of text in it. And so what it includes is really um, I document the client goals, where they started from, so what their collection looked like from the beginning, and also the inventory of it, where the collection ended up. So I'll even give them the whole file structure if it's digital, and then how many photos they have at the end and videos. And then I always talk about what they need to do, like how to back up, how to do monthly maintenance, and then of course there's always a page on what else I can do for you or what you may need moving forward. And then interspersed throughout this album is actually photos from their collection, so it's some of the best of their photos. It's it's logoed, and it's usually something that they keep right next to their computer. So it's always on display, and it's a reminder if they ever need me where they can go and find me.
Yeah. So that's an example of a learning. So when I talk about it's ongoing learning. So here's somebody like Rhoda who comes up with this really brilliant idea that when people saw it, they're like, this is brilliant. And then Rhoda was able to share with people an example of that. And so again, as we have more and more members, they bring different levels of expertise. And again, this way of, not everybody follows that model. That's not something you have to do. Again, it's a business decision on your part. But so good. I think we were able to help you. All right. Other questions that people have? Christine says, how much time do you spend per project, range of hours, and do most of your projects fall in the low, medium, or high range? Rhoda, you want to answer that?
Um, I can't tell you how much time, because every project is definitely different. I would say my projects either range in the low, very quick, like they want, 100 photos scanned so that they can do something with it, or they want a quick slideshow or a photo book, to large. I don't have a lot of medium for whatever reason. So either it's a full organizing for either a family or a generation of families, or it's quick projects people want a good turnaround for. Um, and I have spent as much as over a year or more with clients, with one client. Not that that was my only client, but on that project. More because that's how long it takes for them to get what they are pulling together, and also finding new things, but also we work together. And then I have ongoing clients that I've had for um, my longest one is probably 5 years, where I do maintenance for them. So we meet quarterly, or every 6 months.
Yeah, that's a good question too, Stacy, about clients that come back. A lot of our members are moving more and more to maintenance packages. And I think a few years ago, people didn't believe they would need a maintenance package, but I think people have come to realize that they're just continuing. Like, so if your whole digital collection is suddenly organized, I don't know if you do this, Rhoda, but I know a number of members will have the user login name and password for their Apple photo library. They'll go in and, get rid of duplicates, or, kind of pare it down, move them into albums, help them get ready to make like a year-end photo book and on a monthly maintenance project. How would you, and also for you, you mentioned you have members that come back, right?
Yeah.
Uh, needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the maintenance is one of the biggest reasons people come back, as well as the family yearbook. which is very popular, especially with people who have young families.
Okay. Do you spend much time in a client's home or you mainly work out of your own office?
So for me, I only really go to the client's house to do a what I call an assessment and a roadmap. And I go there, I do the assessment, and usually they say just take everything with you anyway before I even do the roadmap and give them an estimate. That's a paid session. So they're paying me to come to their house and do the inventory for them and assessment. Other than that, it's mostly all in my studio, my house. If it's somebody local and they just want to hand over something, I will meet them typically in between, usually at like a coffee shop or something. And then I have a lot of clients who either ship me physical items, and we always put in an air tag, so there's tracking, double tracking between UPS and an air tag, or it's digital, and so they just give me their logins.
That's a good idea with the air tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Because I have a big project from of a friend of mine that my son did everything, but she's not been able to come and get them, and they're sitting right here in my office. And she just said the other day, "Can you ship them?" And she lives on Martha's Vineyard, and I was thinking, well, we do FedEx with a sign on, but I think putting a little that's a good idea, putting a little air tag in there so you could track it because people don't
Yeah.
usually.
Kimberly thought of it. It was from Kimberly.
Okay, I have to tell you. Yeah. And then Stacy says, how long does it usually take to get your own photos in life in order before you take on clients? I'm going to tell you that there's a famous saying that the shoemaker has no shoes or doctor heal yourself, or there's all those. I would get, I don't know, Rhoda, for you, but I know if we polled our members, almost would say they have not gotten around to their photos. We do have a member that every month she does like a little, she kind of prompts people to show an example of the work they're doing on their own photos sometimes. But Rhoda, what would you say to the answer to that question?
Yeah, I would say that probably, I don't know that you're ever fully organized, right? I mean, for me, I have my kids' growing up years organized, but prior to that, well, maybe from college. But prior to that, I don't have, and I have them all. They're just not totally organized. And don't don't be mad at me for that. But then I think I told you, Kathy, I just last weekend we moved my mom into assisted living. She's fully capable, amazing woman, but she's lost her eyesight. And promptly, as we're moving her to assisted living, she handed me 3 boxes of albums and also boxes of just photos like that. And so starting from scratch again.
I
So
know.
you're always going to get more photos.
Yeah, they never end in that, right? It never ends. So yeah, Stacy, I wouldn't say I don't think you don't need to have your own photos organized before you become a photo manager. That just it doesn't make it would never happen probably. So you'll learn better skills, and then what Rhoda was talking about. Some ways you can learn some of the skills by using your own photos as a like kind of as a testing pattern. But one of the things when we do in our new member orientation is the first thing I encourage people to do is get your first client, because most of our people get frozen with like, oh, I have look, we have all this training and stuff, and they feel like until I know everything, I can't really take a client. But you're going to learn a lot more by working with a project than you ever will by reading and watching all the training and things like that. And again, there's support. If you run into something that's going to like a roadblock, there's a whole team of people who there's nothing that you're going to run into that everybody hasn't seen before. The main thing is, we're going to encourage you to, if you're working with digital photos, make sure that they've backed everything up so that you're working on a backup copy as well, so you don't have to worry about losing their photos or anything like that. Otherwise you'll never get started. So I'm glad that helped you. And also it's just, yeah, and getting paid, because this is a profession. So we also don't recommend that you go out and tell everybody that you'll do their photos for free as a learning thing. You want to value your time right off the bat. You've already invested 45 minutes into this video training, and if you join and you start going through the training, you're going to be compensating yourself, that your hourly fee compensates you for the amount of time and effort you're putting into becoming a true professional. And so we talk a lot about that and understanding your value. And the customer will, and most customers, they're just glad that somebody else will figure it out for them. So, and they're not going to be quizzing you on like, well, how organized are your photos?
And Kathy, what do you usually say? Right? You don't have to know everything. You just have to be able to figure it out.
Yeah, oh yes. Well, my favorite saying back there is Marie Forleo is everything is figure outable, but I have also Brene Brown right next to that just says it's okay to be afraid and brave at the same time. So they go really hand in hand. yes, you can figure it out, and you probably will be nervous and afraid, but it's okay. And you're not alone. Like Rhoda said, you're in an amazing supportive group of people, and it's meaningful work. Photos, most clients aren't in a rush. It was sitting in a box for a long time anyway, so unless there's an emergency situation or something. So people are usually pretty patient as you're beginning to learn and get your experience. We have many members who have employees with outside studios. Most members, though, do work from their own home offices, and eventually to really scale to a more sustainable income and stuff, you're going to eventually hire maybe somebody who does the scanning at an hourly fee while you're charging your regular rate, because you don't have time to be there doing all the scanning. And so over time, depending on your goals, and we do a lot of training on that as well. And we have a lot of role models and examples of how people have scaled their businesses. So it's very much a growing industry, and it's growing worldwide. And we have an amazing group in Europe. We have a wonderful group in Australia, and in different parts of the world. Is there a platform to attain information for support services, software, equipment repair? Our circle community, we're going to be adding that. We're even going to add a job board coming up for people who want to do other work, so people can like post that they do those things. We talk about it's all included in the different software, equipment, and things like that. We have a member that fixes scanners, so there's lots of, again, the community itself is a great resource for all of those things. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I think it's slowed down with questions. Thank you so much, Rhoda. Thank you, as always, for your expertise and experience. Mary, for helping us there on the tech end and everything. We would love to, if Jean, if you need to acquire certain hardware, that would be an investment in a business. You're starting a business, so a decent computer. We talk about that. Scanners. We go through that. You would purchase those things, and that would be part of your investment in a business that you're starting. So more questions, you can send them to support@thephotomanagers.com. We'd be happy to answer it. And thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of
Thank
the day.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.